Oh my God. Hello, everybody. What is going on? It is March 11th, 2003. Surprise, surprise. And here we are again. So, man, do we got a show lined up for you? I see we got a lot of people in the crowd. So I might as well bring on the person that everybody's here to see anyways.
Oh, nice.
My lovely co-host, Michelle.
Hey.
And wife. So watch it out there.
Yeah.
She's my wife too. Just not somebody I hired to come on do this show with me. So
Yeah, wife's been busy today. Daughter's in winter guard, so nothing like driving through a whole lot of crappy traffic on North 75 going to Rochester.
absolutely. I mean, that's the roads here in Michigan have got to be the worst things known to mankind. I don't understand it. It is insane. So,
Hey, Diane and Barry and
yep.
Intergalactic. Intergalactic said I loved Labyrinth. That it's my favorite from Jim Henson aside from Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
So
So
I
yeah.
loved Jim Henson better than Disney.
Well, welcome everybody. Today's show, we're going to talk about our interview we did, and that is from our last podcast, which we actually filmed live so we could show some film clips from the movie Alien Abductions Answers, which was done by a Mr. John Yost. So we're going to have some conversations about the film, about our interview, alien abductions in general. What do you guys think? What do we think? Do we think anything? I mean, it's one of those subjects that is kind of funny, not funny, but like funny, strange to deal with and think about. It's really hard. So we're going to talk about that and some other things that we'll see what you guys want to talk about out there in chat land. So, first of all, I need to go through and let's say hi to some people. Let's just go right through this. So we've got Intergalactic Overhaul. Hey, good seeing you, man. And of course, we got Diane Bosses here. What is going on? Good seeing you. We got these people here. I don't know who this is. Some Michigan UFO sightings and paranormal encounter. I don't know. So we'll move on from them. Let's see. Who else do we got? We've got Straw Dog. What's going on, man? Good seeing you. And then let's see. Going down the list. Here's a new name. Egg Neck Face. That's a good name. So welcome. Nice having you on board.
From Ohio, got to ask where in Ohio.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, wait a minute. Isn't Ohio like our arch nemesis? Here in
Well,
Michigan?
in sports.
In sports. Okay.
So in college sports, yes. So
hey, look at this. It's Ghost Dragon ZW. What is going on? How are you doing? Our best regards to you and Gemma. How's Gemma doing? She'll be coming on the show soon. We're just going to have to nail a date. So good seeing you, man.
Hey, Rick. Rick has joined the party.
Rick is here. All right. Let's see. We got Straw Dog. Oh, here's a new person. Omau Mau. Howdy. Back to you. Hope you have some coffee. Take a drink if you do.
Some folks have some beer lined up.
Hey, you know.
Oh, Canton, Ohio. Okay.
All right. Let's see. Oh, a special shout out to this person right here, Tabin Rice, who is one of our Patreon members. So thank you very much. And we're going to mention you here again in just a few minutes. So welcome, welcome. Good seeing you.
Egg Neck Face. Name is Roberta.
Oh, okay.
So
let's see. Who do we got here? Doug Bradley. Welcome, Doug. Good seeing you. New name. Hey, who's this? It's Barry. Oh, here we go. This guy right here, Rick Davis. Now, he tells us that that symbol that he got is a very special symbol from them. So, his little profile pic, and we have a herd of cats running through the house.
they're spastic.
Oh my God, it shook the whole house. These things are incredible.
They can sense Guy's dog.
Yes, and I know Charlie's in the back too. Charlie did give us permission to bring Guy on in a little bit, so we'll be having him join us here in a few minutes, as well as Burton. So, but first we got to take care of some business. Michelle, are we the only podcast
that goes down an escalator?
Down
the rabbit hole.
Yeah, there you go.
That was me with much longer hair, suitcase in hand, ready to fly out.
So yeah, down the rabbit hole we go,
I
but on
need
a nice
some-
slow pace.
I need some desert loving soon.
Yeah, we gotta
Palm
get on a
trees.
plane at some point here and get out of Michigan for a little bit. So, all right, let's talk about some business that we got to take care of. So, first of all, once again, we have a couple Patreon members, and that is Taban Rice. So, thank you, Taban, and Hava H. So, Hava is there, and oh, wait a minute, Mom's here.
Hey, Dorothy. I saw that. I'm like doing YouTube
It's
on the
my
phone.
mom's. It's my mom's doppelganger. Looks a lot like my mom. And named after her too, Dorothy, same name. So hi Dorothy, good to see you. Let's see, who else do we got to thank? Oh, PayPal. We got some PayPal donations, which was very awesome. Mr. X donated to us. That was Zen Ad Astra. So he was also a guest on our show not too long ago, talking about his experience with some alien craft and what it did to him. So yeah, so hey there, Dorothy. Yeah, it's really good to see you too. Hopefully you are feeling well and things are going well for you.
I was going to say, Dorothy, are you
Yeah.
out of Facebook jail yet?
And then obviously Dorothy, she was a PayPal not a subscriber, but donated via PayPal on one of our latest shows. So thank you very much, Dorothy.
If we didn't say hi to Star Dog, hey, what's up, Star Dog?
Yeah, I thought we did. What's up, man?
No broom.
Oh,
Only
man.
on the bad days.
Well, speaking of like supporting the show and stuff, you guys are awesome. And the best way to support the show is to, like and share and subscribe and get us out there so the algorithm can pick us up and all that good stuff. So that's the most important thing. But if you do want to donate, we use all the money for new equipment. Probably going to need some good cameras here soon and some backlighting and things like that. So we're putting all that stuff together and just squirreling away the money, which honestly, it's not much yet, but we're getting there.
I was gonna say, Mama's gonna have to get a new computer here. I killed my laptop pretty much during virtual teaching.
Yeah,
because I was using my personal device before my district got laptops.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Guy says you should pay Guy because he's really cool. I think Charlie just took over his keyboard. I think that's what's going on. But Charlie's trying to get Guy some money. But anyways, if you guys want to help, support the podcast and stuff, all the links are down below in the show description here on YouTube. And if you're listening to this at a later date, you can find all that stuff in the show description. So all our links are there in the link tree, the PayPal link, all that stuff. It's down there. So, all right, Michelle, what's going on in the news? Anything?
I don't know.
Anything new?
The latest for me, just focusing on, was the train derailment in Alabama. Was the latest one.
Yeah, another one. What was it? 20 cars?
20 cars. They said no toxic cars.
All right. Oh, Ghost Dragon saying check your PayPal. All right. Well, let's see. Let me just bring that up. But thank you very much, sir.
Said Intergalactic said something about Bob Lazar's wife. What's up with that?
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Oh, Ghost Dragon sent us $10. Dude, thank you very much, man. Truly appreciate it. Hey, look, Burton Baggerstock. He's not here yet, unless it's his dad. Sent us $20. What a man. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. That's awesome. Hey, look, it's Atlantis is found. He just showed up. How's it going, man? What? She was in the Hells Angels. What?
Okay, I shouldn't laugh. That's just kind of funny. Oh, someone got killed.
Whoa. Okay. All right. All right, let's see. Dorothy, people keep wanting proof that our infrastructure is failing. Well, if all these train derailments are proof, I don't know what it will take.
I was going to say just the numbers keep climbing, Dorothy.
Yeah. And, they keep on cutting people doing their jobs and the safety, all this stuff to cut corners and cut costs. Some people say for profit, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is baloney. It should not be happening, period. Doesn't really matter. You're talking about infrastructure and something that's used to supply people with food and, equipment for working on things. And, they move heavy machinery and all that stuff. And yet they're not going to be able to if they keep on doing this. So what does that mean? People don't get the things that they need. So, I heard one person today, I'm not going to say who thinks that it may be a big conspiracy to drive up prices of other things, creating scarcity. So, I mean, we're already dealing with a lot of inflation. So, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but
see, this guy over here doesn't do the grocery shopping. I do. So I get to see some of the,
stores.
Yeah, I get to see some of the empty shelves when I go to the store. So,
yeah. What's this from Dorothy? She says, I'm down on my money right now, but it will get better in the future.
we should have Gemma J do like a card reading for Dorothy. Tell her just how great it's going to get.
Hey, Mr. C.
Beyond government oversight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Aren't these railways private corporations and beyond government oversight? I don't think so. I think there is government oversight that happens with them. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a rail person to know all that stuff, but go figure. All right. So let's start building into the topic a little bit. And the way I want to do this is I want to show everybody the trailer for the film that we reviewed and interviewed John Yost, the creator of the film. So I'm going to bring this up. Let me share that with everybody before I bring on our lovely co-hosts. All right, here we go.
This is not communication. It's communion. Hundreds of thousands of people have claimed contact. That will change you. It changed me.
Lost in between two worlds and two dreams.
This was something that I kept buried for years. Strange things would happen. I didn't want anything to do with it anymore.
He came at me, and I fought for my life.
Ships started to pop up in the sky.
And there's this bizarre disk of light. And it is moving across the sky very fast.
The experience is often very terrifying.
If I felt fear, I would crawl under my covers, hoping that it would go away, whatever it was.
I know that we were put in that craft. I knew I was going to go to another planet.
And the being was right next to my face.
He saw two shadow beings. That's when I felt like I was going to die.
I had a real encounter with something. Even if I had to live with the fear, is to know the truth, is to know.
Okay. So that was the film. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what my initial feelings were when I first saw the film before I interviewed, and Michelle and I basically interviewed John Yost. And then after the interview, kind of how my perceptions of things changed. So, but let's bring on the guys and let's see where this goes, and let's take a wild and crazy ride. All right, so let's see, who do we want to bring in here first? All right, let's see. All right, so
Guys pointing.
what can be
Burton.
said? Guys pointing at Burton. So what can be said about our first co-host here? We already know he's the Detroit paranormal badass of the area.
The only guy that can rock a beanie.
The only guy that can, yes, absolutely, rock a beanie. He's probably the most handsome out of all of us. And I know dead and undead girls are swiping right for him all the time. At least that's what the rumors are. So let's bring him on. It's Burton from Lost in the Dark and Follow the Reaper. What's up, my man?
How are we doing? This is so good. That's quite an intro. It is so good to see you guys again. I know last time I wasn't able to make it. That still bums me out to this day, but I'm really happy to be here tonight. And I do have a new I do want to give a shout out real quick to my friends in Casket Robbery, Ignominious, and the Convalescent embarked on the No Sauce tour, which started last night. And I have an introduction here. This little guy was handmade by Megan, the lead singer of the Casket Robbery. These are some pieces of merch that they have on the tour right now. These are like little voodoo dolls that she made. And this guy right here, I'm going to call him the darkness that we are all lost in. And he's going to be a new permanent member of the crypt here. And tonight is his debut. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce this little guy real quick. There he is. He's going to be right next to the crypt keeper for all of time now.
Yeah. Diane says hello.
Hi, Diane.
Hey, look at this guy. Stu Gerson is here.
Stu!
Welcome, my friend.
Yes, you are here, my friend.
And Diane sent us a gift. And yes, Diane, thank you very much. She sent us a PayPal for $5.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I mean, amazing. Thank you very much. You guys are way too kind for our little show. So thank you very much. And also Burton too.
I think that was my dad. I was listening.
It your dad? Okay.
I think that was dad. Yeah.
You must have been talking during dinner tonight, huh?
Thanks,
yeah,
Dad.
he knew. Yeah, I was like, I got to get home because I got to get on YouTube Live tonight. So they knew I'd be on here.
So basically, he was paying us for taking you away from him. So
Right.
he was...
Yeah, that's the fee. That's my fee.
That's your fee. Okay,
Like,
fair enough.
Get him out of here before dessert.
Fair enough. All right, so let's bring on this other guy. It just so happens that his name is Guy, but I recently found out some information that I'm just gonna put him on blast right now and let everybody know.
Oh boy.
That Guy, believe it or not, the producers and writers of Sesame Street modeled Oscar the Grouch after him.
Oh my God.
And when they first put Oscar out there, it scared all the kids. And so they had to actually tone it down a lot. And they basically changed the name from Guy the Grouch to Oscar the Grouch. But we still have Guy Merritt.
Don't hate me. Don't hate me.
Low
because I'm
energy
beautiful.
former.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I just fucking woke up. What time is it? Where are we?
I'm pretty sure every time we do one of these, you just woke up.
We're talking about this is how to repair a carburetor in a 1976 Toyota, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and just so everybody who's listening to this as an audio podcast, underneath Guy's name, he put low energy / former tax cheat.
Well, everybody's got a little tagline, and I'm nothing special, so I got to improvise.
Oh, you're something special, all right, Guy.
I did do some creative stuff on my taxes, but I don't want to. I'm not sure the statute of limitations has run out yet. So
Ghost Dragon says the year is 2039, guy.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So,
Oh, Lord.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
sure.
Real
Yeah.
quick, Wayne and Michelle, how close are we to the anniversary of your sighting?
It was like 3 days ago.
It was 3. It was. We've
Yeah.
already passed it.
Yeah, the 9th.
Okay. The 9th. The 9th.
Guys
okay.
is coming up the 18th.
The 18th. Yeah. And I actually just saw the other day on my Facebook that apparently 5 years ago on March 6th was the first time I ever released a Lost in the Dark episode. So it's been
that is
crazy. Had some March thing. Well, we went out to dinner with some friends last night over in that same area on Ford Road in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wayne's driving and I'm going, where's the triangle? And I'm looking around like, come on.
Yeah. Totally. No, I was
cloudy and snowy.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I was gonna hold up Charlie, but I went to pick him up, and it turns out he got an agent, and he wants 10%, and I can't even talk to him. So,
yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens.
He's asleep on the couch. Let me see something here.
Well, we gotta thank Charlie for letting you come out tonight and hang out.
He's a funny dude. He's oh shoot, I did something stupid in the back end here. I got a little video so these people know how dedicated I am to this show. You can play that. I see you guys. I built my own. I only did this behind me because I wanted a backdrop like you guys have got, because it used to look crappy, but then you said be on the show, so I got out my drywall tools and made that thing.
All right, let's take a look at that. But by the way, Tabin says that he saw a bizarre ring of lights in Lansing. Yeah,
where? Tabin, where? I'm in Lansing.
Yeah.
I would like to know where you saw that.
Yeah. So if you can give us some more information.
What do you mean by
Burton on that?
What do you mean by bizarre ring?
That is something I wanted to kind of bring up, because we have had like a couple interesting things happen in the last couple of weeks. I know I was texting Wayne and Guy on Friday the 3rd while I was driving out to my cousin's house, and it was blizzarding, and I saw the whole sky light up, and it was the first time in my life I've ever seen lightning during a snowstorm, and I texted these two immediately. And Wayne was like, yes, that can totally happen. I was like, I've never seen this. And then we also had that situation a couple weeks or week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where everybody saw those two dots in the sky, Venus and Jupiter.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and honestly, like the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I was driving and I saw them in the sky, and I even filmed it. And I was like, this is really weird, because it was like cloudy. So there were like no other stars that you could see. They were abnormally bright in comparison to everything else. And I was like, they're not moving though. So I think these are probably planets. And then as soon as I got home, I looked it up and I was like, yeah, that's what they were. But it was just really, I loved how many people I saw posting about it, saying like, what is this? Because that just means that there are that many more people with their, as Wayne says, eyes on the sky.
Yeah.
That made me happy.
Yeah, we had just come home from dinner and saw the planets aligned, and I mean one was right in front of the other.
Yeah.
And so we
Beautiful sight.
jumped out of the vehicle. I'm taking pictures, got my star app up, checking to see exactly the lineup, and it was like, oh, that is so cool.
They were absolutely beautiful, and anybody that had a telescope that saw them probably saw an amazing sight. Like absolutely stunning to see.
Yeah, it's in scientific astronomy terms, it's called a conjunction. And this was Venus and Jupiter. And Venus, its orbit is, it goes the sun, obviously. And then we've got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. And so, Venus goes around the sun faster than we do. Yeah. And it just so happens we were in the right position with the sun where it was at that time. and Venus being right there, that it actually looked like Venus, was going and they make a big deal in astrology about it. And, it's Jupiter and Venus mating and all this stuff, and it gets a little out there. But yeah, it's a conjunction, and the planets line up, and now I will say this: there have been weird things that happen when the planets do get in alignment, and the gravitational pulls and things like that can affect things. So,
yeah.
I mean, right now there's a current thing going on where they are looking at solar flares and things like that might influence earthquakes. So,
that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because it changes the magnetic field of the earth. So anyways, just stuff like that. But yeah, very, very cool stuff.
It just made me really happy to see how many people were posting about it. And because if you're going to post about something, a lot of people post willy-nilly or whatever, but like I saw a lot of people posting that I'd never seen post before about that. And so that means they were looking up, they were looking at the sky, which is awesome to begin with, and they were curious enough to put it out there. And
it was a good night for us down here because it was clear. For us down here, it was those two planets were bright as can be. And I totally agree with you. However, when I put that up on our Facebook group, some people got upset because they are 100% dead set that anything that they do see in the sky is some type of a UFO. And it's like, look, people, you need to, it's almost like a religion for some of these people. We got a cat.
And just because something is in the sky doesn't mean it's flying. In order to be a UFO, it has to be an unidentified flying object. Flying implies movement. Like you can't like, something sitting still in the sky is not unidentified or flying.
I actually developed a theory recently that everything is a UFO. Everything. I mean, virtually everything. Things on the ground, things not moving. Anything I see is a UFO. A lot of people think things are UFOs that are, not UFOs.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going to go. Thanks to Guy with that. So Guy distracted me.
Threw him off his game.
You should have let me sleep. I mean,
dude, it's 8:00 at night, man.
Now you're drinking coffee, so it's all over.
Yeah, you got your coffee?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a rare collection of coffee cups. I have coffee cups from all the candidates that lose elections. So I've got to fill the burn cup.
Oh my God. All right, Guy. What is this video you got here for us, man?
That's I made a set. This place was terrible till I met you guys.
Oh.
And I learned drywall and everything. And
let's see. I made this set for the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal podcast only. So that was before.
Yeah, that was
1970s wood paneling.
That's why I keep having strokes and heart attacks,
Oh, wow. Wait.
And that's good work, especially that ceiling. I know everybody loves that ceiling.
I love the ceiling and the built-in.
It's funny about that because Linda said, I want to put wood in the ceiling. And I said, who puts wood in the ceiling? And I didn't know. I built that thing. I saw a thing online that said, build a stunning wall unit for $300. And what spoke to me, $300 was in my price range. So anyway,
let's say hi to Haynes. What's going on? He says, Guy has the right idea.
Which one?
Well, Guy doesn't have any ideas. It's really all don't. Charlie.
I borrow them. I get them from Charlie.
Charlie. Him and Charlie sit around and they plot against everybody. So
they bark up ideas.
What's that?
Bark up ideas.
Yeah.
I think they're barking up the wrong tree.
I call him Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
It's a perfect name.
Man, the cat was on my lap. Everybody, you turn on this camera and all the animals suddenly are needy. They need food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might wake Charlie up, get him up here. Like I said, he's got an agent now, and he wants a piece of those super chat things. I think he's hard to contend with.
We don't even have that many subscribers to worry about super chats.
Or whatever they are.
So
I don't
we don't need to pay YouTube for putting
Yeah,
our time in on their
okay.
stuff.
Don't they
But,
take something like half of that or something? That's crazy.
Yeah, they take a pretty big chunk.
Hey, Janine.
Bracket.
So we got Janine Hollis is in the house. So hey everyone, what's going on? Detroit in the building. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
And who'd I just have up there?
You had Roberta.
Egg
Trying
neck
to get-
face.
Yep.
Yeah, go wake that puppy up.
Let me see.
No,
how
he
it's-
can't. That's his boss. He can't wake up the puppy.
I don't know. Intergalactic said next pet gets the name Fizzgig. I am absolutely.
Well, we got 3 cats that run through here like a paranormal storm. I mean, it's ridiculous, but
And ours all have, well, book names.
yeah.
Muggles became Muggsy, the crime boss. That's
He's
the,
out of it, man. He was
Torty.
like sound
Aw.
asleep. Like, Dad, come on, man. I was sleeping.
He's like, I had just hit REM.
He doesn't give a shit about alien life. He's like, I want to go to take a nap on the couch, man.
You are an alien.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably is alien life.
Yeah. Yeah. He's looking at you like you're an alien.
I'll just remember what was it, the pug in Men in Black. I'll wait till
That's
Charlie
right.
starts
See?
talking.
See?
You know,
The one in Little Nicky.
something that Burton said was something that Burton said kind of dovetailed along with John Yost. He said with what John Yost said, he said that John Yost proposed this 3-part thing, one of which the things was more people are looking up, and I thought of that when you said so many people. That's a good point. So Yost was proven right here with Burton's observation that one of the things he said was about this recent disclosure stuff. More people are kind of watching the skies, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think since even though none of us were happy with it or impressed by it, I think ever since that the disclosure document from the government came out, I think since then there has been that and the TikTok videos in comparison. I think they
check that out. Tabin.
Oh, thank you, Tabin. Yeah,
thank you.
I think a lot more people are not only paying more attention, but more comfortable sharing any observation or questions.
That's a huge component of it, because in my experience, after having had this sighting, and I've been public about it because I just don't give a damn. I was just honest about what happened. A lot of people I'd known for years reached out to me. A lot of people see them and never say anything, but now it's kind of, that's a huge thing that you just hit upon. It's kind of socially acceptable to say, hey, I saw something weird in the sky or whatever. Which,
I can't even go into our favorite restaurant anymore here in town, New Boston Coney and Grill. And shout out to my peeps there. But every time I go in there, man, I get stopped and told a story about something somebody has seen, and it's and
whoa,
it's interesting. It happens.
Let me hang on. Let me read Tabin's post real quick.
Yeah, go for it. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. That he wrote it out on a post for Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. That's cool.
March 11th. So earlier today, between 4:35 and 4:45 a.m. Just witnessed a ring of light above the Lansing Delta GM plant. Brilliant white light in the shape of a ring. Almost as soon as I saw it, it seemingly slipped out of existence. Imagine cutting a slit in some fabric and pushing a coin through it. That's how it left, quote unquote, like it slipped into it slipped into a cloud, except it's completely clear out. Like that.
I've heard of that.
I know exactly where that is. Yeah.
That's not that uncommon. I've heard a lot of people say that there was like a tear in the sky and it just
a tear in the sky. Yes, exactly. I've heard that when it comes to UFOs and cryptid sightings sometimes as well. I've heard that same thing. That is fascinating though. Above the GM plant, the Delta G. I know right where that is. Like in 4:45, 44. I was awake and driving around at that point in time earlier today, and I didn't see anything, but that would have been easily probably about 10 miles from where I was driving, so maybe I wouldn't have, but
Janine had an
that's
interesting comment too. She said I don't know what her story is, but she said she thought a plane was crashing. I thought a plane was landing when I saw my UFO. I saw it from about 3 miles away from an overpass and thought it was a big car. What's that? Yeah, you guys read my story when I thought a plane was about to crash.
Back October, that was one of the stories on Communication Corner
Oh,
that we
I
had
remember
read.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
She had seen that. Yep. And by the way, we are joined by Metalhead. So hey, Metalhead, good seeing you.
Hi, Metalhead. I'm a Metalhead too.
The Eddie and Ozzy in the background gives it away.
I mean, I think it should, right?
Yeah. So, all right, Alien Abductions, man. In that film, Answers.
Yes.
I'm gonna start a little bit here and say that when I first watched that movie, I liked it. I thought it was interesting, but it wasn't something that would, I don't know, like spark my interest or anything. There were points in there where I thought it was getting kind of weird, and I figured out what it was after we talked to.
Is this what we discussed?
John
that was going
Yost. Yeah. So my thought is that when we interviewed him after watching that movie and asked him questions, it put a lot more into perspective, and it gave more of a personal touch or feeling to his experience, and then what those other people had gone through with their abductions. And so that was kind of like my takeaway. At first I was like, yeah, okay, it's an okay movie. It's shot really well. It's okay. But then it was like talking to him, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, he's very sincere about this, and certain things in the interview came across a lot better than they did in the film. And Guy, I don't know if you agree with me on that, but why don't you jump in here? It's such a difficult topic to handle because so many people go all in or all out. There's, and I still don't know what to make of it, but I think he is credible. And so, Guy, take it, man. What do you think?
Well, before, we got a little green room before we go on. You and I were talking, and I mean, I believe alien abductions happen. I don't want to. I'm really, I'm a pacifist. I don't want to argue with anybody. I don't want to sell anybody anything. But I said let's establish that first. I believe they happen. That people are physically taken. I mean, and John Mack, who was the head of psychiatry at Harvard, believed that, and he studied a couple hundred people. I mean, people are physically missing from their environments, and they're physically gone. I mean, it's an odd phenomenon, but there is a physicality to it. People are, like I said, they're just physically gone. People come back with marks on their bodies. I mean,
implants.
People come back with implants. Those are not friggin' dreams. Okay.
That's actual documented.
This isn't like, for me, there's no debate to be had that I want to be a part of, especially, I'm a grumpy son of a bitch. It's like, they're real. My coworkers got to work an hour late. They were a couple of Southern Baptist women. I saw the damn thing. I was 130 foot from it. It's huge. They don't remember seeing it. They remember their van spinning out of control, and then they blacked out and woke up on tables. And they were somewhere. They had to work an hour late, as did two other women, again, carpooling to a different factory.
And for the record, props to the people that still show up to work after getting abducted by aliens. Like,
no shit.
That's off.
My God, that's
who would come up with that, though? Okay, who would come up with that if they were just late to work, messing around, or who would say they were?
Exactly.
My homework.
I mean, that sounds comical. That sounds humorous or whatever, but it's true. Nobody's gonna make that. No. Yeah. If they're late for work, they're not. What are we gonna tell them because we went to the casino or something? Let's tell them we got abducted by freaking aliens. Nobody's gonna say. No, nobody's going to go there. I mean, that's, and I had to listen to the woman cry on the phone for a week,
Yeah.
And then she wouldn't, and after the first week, until her death in 2019, she wouldn't talk about it because it was such an ontological shock, as John Mack used to say. Ontology is the study of metaphysics with relation, to being and reality. It screwed her up so bad that she could not talk about it. Her husband told me after that first week. But that's a good question. What Diane just said.
Yeah. So Diane, she asked a question for those of you listening on the podcast version. Diane asked a great question. And Burton, I'm gonna you to field this first because Guy and I already kind of talked about this a little bit in the green room. But Diane asked, they could be taken, but by who? Are they really being taken from aliens, or probably should be by aliens, or is it the government doing it? So, Guy, oh, by the way, Moonlicht, thank you for joining us, man. Good seeing you. Welcome. All right, so Burton, jump in, talk to Diane's question a little bit, or your own thoughts right now.
This is something that all of us have spoken about before, and I do think that in some instances, maybe not necessarily UFOs, but like when it comes to like the missing 411 stuff and stuff like that, I think there could be some government involvement because a lot of those missing 411 cases are take place in national parks. And there's a conspiracy theory out there. I don't know if I believe it or not, but there is a conspiracy theory out there that underneath the national parks, there are big military bases. Like they do secret things underneath and they have tunnels and stuff like that. And that's how they take people from the national parks. Now, before we started doing these live things, a big part of me did think it was mostly the UFO stuff was probably mostly the government. I did think that we probably have better technology than we know about, top secret, above clearance, whatever. But then there was, I can't remember which live episode it was, but there was one of these episodes that we did where I brought that up. And you and all of us had a conversation about it. And after that conversation was over, I reevaluated my position on it. And after, especially some of the things that Guy said, some of the points that he made and things like that, it just doesn't like. And the more you think, it's like what do we think of the government? Like where are we at on the government? Are they a bunch of incompetent idiots that can't get anything done, or are they mega organized and super secret and have all this secret stuff going? Where do we actually? You can't argue both. You got to pick a side. Where do we land on it? I came out of that conversation agreeing with you guys, thinking that maybe some of it could have government involvement. Maybe the government knows that the extraterrestrials are doing this, but I don't think that a lot of what we're seeing and a lot of the experiences that people are having are the United States government doing something. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, there's a third player I want to mention: aliens, government, or private defense contractors testing out new technology on us.
But my problem with that and the government at this point is that we're talking about like when it comes to seeing something in the sky, like a Tic Tac or whatever, maybe that is some sort of new drone technology. Maybe. I highly doubt a decorated Navy pilots would see something and not know that it's a drone. I highly doubt that. Like, I feel like they'd be able to identify, oh yeah, that's some kind of a drone right away. They saw something that they cannot explain to this day. Highly decorated people that know what's going on in the sky, saw something they cannot explain to this day. And my problem with the government doing all of this, or even a private party, it happens all over the planet. And it's happened for hundreds of thousands of years. The government.
This isn't
the
new.
United States government's less than 200 years old.
He's at least partially right. I mean, this has been going on the government was doing this 200 years ago or whatever.
People have been being abducted for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Long before any current governments even existed. So like the Native Americans, Mayans, as ancient Aztecs have stories. The Bible has stories about people being taken. Like this stuff has been going on forever. This is not a government. And if it is a government, they're operating illegally on foreign soil, every foreign soil all over the planet. That doesn't make sense.
Metalhead says it right there. It's thousands of years,
thousands
man.
of years.
Yeah.
Love you, Metalhead.
Yep.
I just want to add this really quick idea while you keep going. I was talking to a friend of mine who's been on the show before, who goes by the name Mr. X. You know who he is.
Yeah.
This morning we did a video chat. He's in the UK.
Nice.
And great guy, just a wonderful, lovely person. And
seems nice.
He believes that, as I tend to believe, is that you keep mentioning the government. I think there's kind of a cabal that runs the world that we don't see. There's kind of a secret government. And I know this sounds way out. I was never a big conspiracy guy, but I mean, there's the government we see, and I think there's another layer. You know what I'm saying?
I think there is too, for sure. But like, are they really organized and have all that stuff enough?
Right.
To
Are they
where
that far?
they're
Are
doing
they
this?
1,000 years ahead and 3,000 years
We
ahead?
can't. All four of us here and anybody in chat right now, y'all live in Michigan. Like any of us that live in Michigan, drive down the road. Tell me how many potholes you just hit. Like we can't even get it together enough to fix a road. How and we think that they're smart enough to be abducting people and having this super secret technology, and nobody is saying anything. Like nobody's coming out. Like everybody involved is actually keeping the secret. Come on. The number one thing people do worst is keep secrets.
Yeah.
Like we don't keep secrets well. Like even if we're threatened, eventually something will come out.
Maybe. Mr. C.
Okay, so Mr. C asks, ever wonder if the aliens pick up someone to study genetics, then the government comes along and abducts them again to see why the aliens pick them up in the first place?
I've heard of things like that.
I was gonna go. That is something.
Great speculation.
I was gonna kind of go there. I was like, I don't think that this is all the government, but does that mean they're not involved? No, they could still be involved in some way. I mean, shit. The former Prime Minister of Defense of Canada a number of years ago,
Paul Hellyer.
That great video of him in the courtroom or whatever with all the other officials saying they are here. There are multiple species. We work with them. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. And we're trying to figure it out. But it's all real and they are here. That guy said that. On like the Canadian version of C-SPAN or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
what was his name again, guy? Paul Hellyer?
Paul Hellyer.
Yeah.
Hellyer, I believe. Like Hellier.
Yeah.
Hellier.
Something like that.
It's a good show. There's a show called Hellier that's pretty good.
Hey, just a quick shout out to everybody watching. We got 18 people watching live, at least through YouTube and possibly on Twitter as well and on Facebook.
Skull.
Thanks for all the likes right now and the shares out there. So great. Thanks for joining us. And Hellfire Studios. And I don't know if I said it before, but Moonlicht, welcome, and Hellfire.
I know Moon asked why I'm so quiet tonight. I was talking quite a bit in the beginning. So every now and then I chime in.
She's running chat a lot of the time.
I run
stuff, so.
Michelle, you wearing a Labyrinth shirt?
Absolutely.
That's sick, yo.
Michelle,
that's great.
She's so quiet. I've begun to suspect she's with the CIA or the NSA. I think she's just monitoring.
Is it CIA or CYA?
She's with the GRAYS, the Grays.
My classroom actually is predominantly done in Labyrinth posters, like behind the scenes pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Henson,
nut.
man, when they did that display at Henry Ford Museum,
I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, they did a display of like a lot of the original Muppets, his earlier works, different commercials. But then they had like the Muppets from Dark Crystal.
Oh.
They had pretty much everything there from Labyrinth too, like the ball gown and the Goblin King suit at the dance.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I got all the pictures on my phone. That was like.
Do you ever like show any of stuff like that in your class? For
What,
the class?
Jen? I actually use Jim Henson's kind of like untalked about work because both of his, I think it was his daughter who, when she went to college, absolutely loved mythology. So he made 4 Greek.
Hell yeah, Hellfire. Yes, it does. Yes, he's right. He's right.
Labyrinth plus mushrooms equals a good time.
When you're right, you're right. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, well, it was the Greek myths. There were only 4 episodes, and then the Storyteller series from the early 90s.
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
the folk tales from around the world. There were only 9 episodes ever made.
And those
yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of those were still like practical effects, like costumes and puppets and stuff, right?
Yes.
See, that makes me so happy that you are showing that kind of art to kids, because they don't, now everything's 3D and animated and everything and computerized or what. I love the practical stuff. I love the practical effects, like it, Jurassic Park, you know what I mean? Like it's just E.T., some of the greatest, Jaws, some of the greatest movies of all time, Alien, Predator, Nightmare Before Christmas. You know what I mean? It's just, and I don't feel like that stuff is so rare nowadays. It's just really cool.
Wayne's like, I'm feeling out of my league right now. I don't know any of this stuff.
Talk about going from Alien Abduction to Muppets.
Hey,
it's paranormal.
Hey, I brought in Alien and Predator. They're aliens.
I gotta admit, I started surfing YouTube. I was watching a cat video. I'm not lying. I was watching a cat video.
Was it claymation?
No, but I do like Jim Henson and I like the Muppets.
Yeah, the best.
But it is kind of a different
Fraggle
topic.
Rock on a trip was a mistake for me.
Ghost Dragon. Well, that could be a mistake. Yeah, I could see.
Yeah.
I can see that. It's probably better just to go outside and look at the sky.
I did some shrooms yesterday. I got them at rallies. They were deep fried.
Oh my god.
They were deep fried.
Deep fried shrooms.
Ranch dressing, but those are the only shrooms I do.
Well, psilocybin might make you a little less grumpy.
Listen, you're starting to piss me off.
Quick, get the shrooms, Charlie.
I'm already not getting paid for this.
Hey, I got to talk about something for a second that I feel that I know something about.
Let's go ahead. Let's just run with this Muppet shit.
He's going to start looking up episodes.
I've got a video on my computer called Draw a Circle. There's a circle and a square. It's a Muppets thing. It's just so ridiculous. I love it.
What is this guy?
No, I will see this. Go on YouTube and see
Randall. That is Randall Nickerson. And if you don't know who he is, he's a lifelong contactee who became a video producer, and he released the most recent big epic thing about, I think it was called The Phenomenon. It was about the Ariel School.
I sent that.
And he was interviewed. That's literally, that thing's about 8 seconds. And it was interesting to me, and it has to do with what we're talking about. He just said very flatly, he says he's doing an interview, and he says, and he's dealt with this his whole life. And he says, look, it's aliens, period, or something. You can play it if you want. It's his take on it.
Oh, we'll put that up here, Michelle. What do you want to finish
super short.
Now, I was going to say, if they've got a free episode out there, I would highly recommend Soldier in Death. It was a Russian folktale. The devils in it, those are some creepy things. I used to scare my kids with those.
It's one of my favorite characters.
All right, well, let's take a look at this real quick.
Do you think that this was extraterrestrial, what they encountered, or was it perhaps something that's, I don't know, interdimensional, ultra-terrestrial, those kinds of things?
Yeah, I don't even think in those terms. It's extraterrestrial, period.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and he was the director of the phenomenon.
Yeah, and
What-
he's been abducted his whole life, and I believe the guy. I've seen him and his sister were on, oh my God, was it Montel or something like 30 years ago? And you know, he's dealt with these beings, and he just says. But it's funny that you brought all this up because over the last month or so, I'd asked a few of my friends who I genuinely believe have been abducted, hey, is this my lab stuff with the government? Is that real? And I thought a bunch of them would say, no, that's all BS. And virtually every one of them said, and this blew my mind because I didn't believe this stuff. Every one of them that I asked, and I'm not going to name them, I could give you some names, but they're pretty well-known people. And they all said, they all believed, all the people I asked said some of them are government. I mean, which it sounds so crazy to me. I mean, I'm like Burton. I'm like, how can that be? But you know, I've got numerous friends that swear they've been abducted by grays, but on one or more occasions they saw. One gal told me she saw 4 guys in blue uniforms that looked like Air Force uniforms. I knew her really well, really well. Okay.
I've heard stories of them seeing grays standing next to guys in like Men in Black.
Yeah.
Like
Is that some screen memory? Are they screwing with your mind? Are there really humans?
That's what I'm. That's yeah.
I don't know.
That's where we get into the weeds because are they implanting false memories?
Yeah.
What's going like that's where we get into the weeds a little bit.
Well, see, Randall Nickerson says flatly the government can make you believe they're aliens. I mean,
elaborate.
Yeah, if you believe the government flies enormous, super secret, super advanced cutting edge technology over US 23 and Flint 100 foot off the ground and hopes to shit it doesn't crash or something. I can't swallow this is all the government.
No.
Which there's a lot of people that go that route because I feel this is my opinion. It's comforting. It's a lot less creepy to them. It's less scary. They don't have to ditch their current worldviews, with their scientific religion, their religion. They can stick with it. It's all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got you, Mr. C.
I don't buy that it's all the government. It's like Randall Carlson said. And he's dealt with them, right? He's been abducted.
Yeah.
I believe the guy. You don't have to. It's your head. You put in whatever you want in that pretty little thing. But too many people have said they've been abducted and that these beings are non-human. And I believe them because I know what I've seen. So some of them, could the U.S. be working? Could we have some kind of a secret part of the government that's kind of like a cabal thing that works with them?
Right.
Maybe. I mean, go ahead, Burton.
Yeah, no. I think that's very see, that's the thing about all this is Occam's razor says it's all us. You know what I mean? The most likely explanation is the most likely explanation or whatever. So like Occam's razor says that, yeah, it's all government. It's all humans. But
I don't see, and you and I really disagree on that. I don't think that's the,
you don't think that's
the most likely explanation.
Really?
When you look at what
is that not more likely than something coming from elsewhere? Like, it stars what we know.
There's billions and billions and billions and billions of planets.
Of course.
What are the I'm not a mathematician. I didn't take statistics and analysis. I don't know.
No, but Guy, I think what Burton's saying is that the simplest answer, being Occam's razor, is that it is us. He's not saying that's what he's saying.
I know that's what he's saying, but I'm saying that for me, to me, a clear thinking person, it's seeing this technology, that would not be the simplest answer.
Right. But they haven't seen it. See, and that's what Burton is saying. And that's where I'll agree with Burton. The people that haven't seen this stuff or been abducted themselves or had some kind of encounter are going to go the Occam's razor route. And they're going to say,
it's actually funny to me that somebody would say, even just
what
we know from popular culture, we've thousands and thousands and thousands of videos on YouTube. You can see cops, all kinds of people say that they saw something accelerate from 0 to 1,000,000 miles an hour and fly into the stratosphere and out of the, and that you would say, Occam's razor would, you know, if you subscribe to that it's a, what do they call it? It's a.
But what I'm saying is, and I
logical
think
fallacy.
Burton's saying the same thing, is that people that don't see this and they just hear the stories or see the videos or hear people talking, they're going to say, well, if anything, it's just us. Right.
Right. They're just going to go with what
they're going to go with
likely.
the easy, the easiest
C1.
answer.
Yeah.
See
now,
one.
I
Have
do
your house,
right.
have your house beamed with a blue light.
Right.
And have your
guy, hold that thought. Hold that thought,
consciousness
guy.
affected, you know.
Hold that thought, because I did want to ask you about that, and I wanted you to tell everybody that story about what happened with you in your house that night. So hold that thought, though. Hold that thought. So, Michelle, did you want to jump in here real quick? Because we're at an hour and 7 minutes, and I want to get our break in, and I want to give everybody a chance to talk.
I need some more coffee.
Okay. Burton, before we take off, did you want to add in anything?
No. I do have a. I'm gonna, while we're on our break, I'm gonna find a video that I'm dying. Actually, I can't believe I haven't brought this up before, but there's a video that's been floating around since before YouTube, since like the 90s. I really want to. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but I really want to. I'm going to send it to you in the chat here, and hopefully when we come back from break, we can play it and kind of talk about that. I'm really curious to get people's opinions on this particular video because it's such a unique case. But go on. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah. And so, you know, Burton, I'm with you that people that don't have this experience, I agree with you that if they haven't had any kind of experience, they are definitely going to fall into that realm of, well, it's just a new military thing they're flying around, or some kind of new technology they're working on. And so, you know, that's where you were going with that. And I know Guy gets all fired up because Guy is
a crazy guy. I'm a crazy
No,
you made good points there.
Yeah, you're right. You made great points, and I agree with them. I agree with pretty much every single one of them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
You guys are just saying that so I don't feel bad.
No, 100%. Like you, like I presented a solid argument, and you presented like really great counterpoints. That was fantastic.
There's.
Well, I mean, I don't think I was a pretty skeptical guy, but I remember reading when I was 11 this article in Look magazine about Betty and Barney Hill, and I just happened to find it when I was a kid. I was at the neighbor's house, my wife's house. Now she's my wife. I was, and I remember reading that when I was like 12 years old, and she was a social worker, and he was a civil rights leader and a postal worker. And I thought, and they were mixed race, which was not a good thing to be back in
not at that time.
And I'm like,
they dealt with a lot of problems.
Why would these people make this up? And
why on earth?
Yeah, and I was a little kid, but it didn't pique my. I didn't read a lot. I never read a UFO book. I didn't watch movies, but I mean, that stuck with me, and I think that affected me at a young age. I just thought.
That was your catalyst into all this?
No, I mean, it wasn't like I read it and I was just I was an early reader, man. I was a voracious reader as a kid. I was an only child. I scored off the charts on tests at school just because I read well. I think I was pretty stupid, but I read really well, right? I had really good reading comprehension skills because I read all the time. And I read that as a kid. And my thought was that they were probably telling the truth because I thought, why would somebody make this up? You know,
they were definitely telling the truth.
But it didn't launch me into watching reading UFO. I never read a UFO book. I tried to one time. It was a book by J. Allen Hynek called something like Close Encounters of the Third. I read like 40 pages and when I was a musician on the road and we were in a big house, they put us up in this house in Sandbridge down in Virginia Beach, and they had a library. And they had all these books. And I'm reading this book. I read like 40 pages and went, there's no proof for any of this shit. I don't believe this. You know, I mean, I get, and that was as much as that was my whole exposure to it. And then I drive up to a massive UFO. And
that's what I was saying. That's what I love about you. And that's what I love about Wayne and Michelle is that none of you, I've never seen one, but, and I believe in them. None of you believed in them until you saw one.
Well, I was reasonable about it. I was like,
I
thought, why wouldn't it be possible? But I was like, you'd have to show me one, you know.
And then
They
Odin did, you know,
in a big way.
the skies did. All right.
Well,
I need a
this is where
fucking
we
map.
go. By the way, just so everybody knows, since Guy brought up Benny and
Benny Barney.
Hill.
yeah, Barney, yeah, we had them on.
Yep.
We had the
Yes,
the
Diane.
niece.
Yep.
The niece, and that's
Yep.
who it sounds
an
like
MMA
Alien
fighter.
Girl had.
Yeah, episode 44.
Yep.
We called it The Hills Have Eyes. So if you want to hear that interview with Kathleen Martin, who was the niece of the Hills, you can go listen to that. It was a really good interview. But with that being said, we're going to take a break. Go chill out, grab a drink.
Let's
and
all
everybody,
go to the concession stand.
Yeah, let's go.
Go to the concession stand.
All right. I'm going to put everybody in the back, and I will see you all soon. 5 minutes, people.
Traveling near New Boston, Michigan? Hungry? Well, then you need to check out New Boston Coney and Grill tucked away at 37005 Huron River Drive. With daily specials, homemade soups and desserts, and a staff that makes you feel like family, you will not be disappointed. Give them a try for dine-in or carry-out at 734-606-5313. You can find their page, including their menu, on Facebook. Bon appetit.
There is 4 minutes left to this break. Three minutes left, everybody. Just 3 minutes. Two minutes left, everybody. Get ready. 2 minutes. One more minute and we are back. One more minute. All right, everybody, we're back. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Well, it's been a hell of a show already. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh, whew. Alien Abductions. I told you guys it would be an interesting conversation. So what is going on out there? Who do we got watching right now? Let's see. Let's check the chat and see who's all here. We have people dropped out of out of chat. We got Diana's here, Hellfire's here, Tabin is here, Intergalactic is back. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. When we take a break, you gotta go stretch those legs and do whatever you got going on. Wayne's got jokes. Sometimes. So let's bring the guys back on. Michelle's not ready to come back on yet. But let's go ahead and start with some Guy. Yeah, we got Guy, the low energy former tax cheat.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. Yeah, I don't know. But so we got Burton. Where are you? Oh, there you are. What's up,
Noise. Okay, so full disclosure, like the video you were playing during the break, I don't know if everybody could see it or not, but that's the video I was going to send you.
What? I didn't see a video during the break.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing. I get it now. Okay, here it is.
You were talking about mushrooms.
Okay, I'm not on mushrooms, Guy. Trust me, you would know. I would tell you.
Would you be willing to pee in a bottle? Because
doesn't show up in that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go. All right, let's see what this is.
Video,
I'm anxious to see what he wants us to see.
This video has been this particular YouTube one. I don't know how accurate it is. It says it's from 1996. Full disclosure, that sounds fairly accurate to me because I feel like I was in 1996. I was 6 years old, and I feel like that was about the first time I saw this video. Right around then.
Okay.
And this is just one that this is before YouTube. You know what I mean? This is before social media. A lot of people think it's fake. I don't know where I land on it, but this is something that's been shown in many, many documentaries and it's been floating around for a long time. I'm just genuinely curious to get your guys' take on this.
The alien autopsy?
Supposedly an alien autopsy at Roswell, New Mexico at Area 51.
Interesting. Okay. Is there any sound to this?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll turn on the
sound. My YouTube sound is off, so I don't know.
Let's take a look. Yeah, there's a little bit of sound.
And it was actually surprisingly, like I thought it was going to be super easy. I thought this was going to pop up as the first one, and I had to scroll down a bit to find it.
It's got to be some sort of practical joke. Wait a second. Whatever that thing is, it just moved.
Yeah, I don't know what this voiceover is. I've never heard this before, but
all right, I'm gonna mute it.
Yeah, just mute it. Watch it. Yeah, I never heard any audio on it. Like it was taken obviously in black and white on an old style camera.
Yeah, Diane's yelling at us, fake intergalactic.
Okay, yeah. No, I know. Yeah. A lot of people. I don't know if I think it's real or not. Like I just think it's interesting that this has been going around for so long, and I have never anybody in chat. If anybody in chat can provide like a link to like is this from a movie? Like, is this maybe even from a movie that never got released or something? Like, is this some special effect that we can prove?
I
Because
think you're exactly right, Burton.
for a long time, this has been going around, and I don't know.
Okay.
I've never seen it proven or disproven.
Is that an
So-
alien? Charlie says fake. I don't know.
Okay, well then it's fake.
Yeah.
Charlie says fake.
Well, I think
Who knows, man? I'd probably fake. I think.
But I mean,
You never know.
but like, how do we? If it were real, would we still say it was fake? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well,
like
yeah,
what would it take?
probably? Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, how do you know?
Well, I'll tell you what. This is different than the other one I've seen.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say I thought it was gonna be that Ray Santilli film.
Yeah.
Which
Ooh,
is,
play that one. I don't know that. Let me see that one.
It's the one that's up there on the Russian. There's a Russian site or something like that.
Oh, you're thinking. No, that's a different thing too. There's what I was gonna say. There's a very, very famous one that was a special in like 1997 on Fox where they had this film made by a guy named Ray Santilli called The Alien Autopsy.
Yeah,
and I can't see that real good with this, the way this is arranged, but I don't think that's the same film. I've seen a million times, but
I think the one you're talking about might be the one I'm thinking of. Then maybe that wasn't the right one. I just knew it was black and white, and there was a gray on a table, and it was moving around. And honestly, yeah, that is a different film because the film I saw, like you could like see its mouth moving and stuff, and that one didn't show that at all. So like it was
talking
like
about
it was trying to say something.
I think you're talking about the Skinny Bob film.
Skinny Bob, that's it.
That's it, dude. Yes.
That's
I
the
forgot
Skinny
the name
Bob.
of it.
I'll tell you what, the Skinny Bob film, and I'm no authority on this stuff, obviously. I don't think anybody is. But the Skinny Bob film, if you watch that and you look around the eyes and the eyes blink and you can see the lids. I'm like, man, how did somebody fake that?
Like if you're doing
that's the one film I've seen that really blows me away. I don't know. That could be real.
It was the film you're talking about in black and white.
That's Skinny
This
Bob
one.
right there. That's
Yes.
Watch the musculature and the tissue around the eyes. I mean, how did somebody fake this shit?
And of course they have the date blacked out. Come on.
Well, yeah.
All right, that's
crazy.
Yeah,
Skinny
let's
Bob.
watch
Hellfire says it's a puppet.
Watch the eyes,
here,
man.
let's
I don't
watch
know.
it. Let's watch it. It's a very famous. I know of ways to look at this so that you could tell that it's fake, and I will point those out. And you guys, whatever you want to.
I don't know.
think
I
on
just
it.
thought it's a hell of a fake. You see around the eyes how that, man, that's a damn.
It's like
good
eyebrow, like where its eyebrows would be is like making expressions and stuff. Now I follow VFX studios on Instagram, and I know how good they can do stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
But see, I really wish I knew when this was filmed. It makes me upset that they blocked out the date there because that would
help a lot. That would help a lot to determine what you thought. If
in order to make this, it has to be a certain point in time, and like if this was shot in like the 30s or 40s, they didn't have costumes that could do that yet. Like, come on. I mean, maybe the government.
But they didn't have a date overlay either. Like this.
Yeah.
If it was back in the 30s or 40s.
That's
well, yeah, but that could have been done. That could have been done post production stuff,
But that's still a very good
Okay.
observation.
And here's something I want to point out. See the fracture,
the line.
Yep. It's a filter to make it look like it's grainy audio.
Yeah, it might be.
If you notice, like if this was actually the film itself,
wouldn't that move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is on top of the numbers.
Yeah, it could
So-
definitely be fake. I just think it's a better fake than the alien autopsy.
Well, here's what I know, and I can't remember who did a really good job debunking this. People can search this up if they want to, but if you watch the movements, this was filmed in like high-speed cameras. They sped it up to give it more of a realistic movement. So if you look at it real closely, see how it looks like it's moving fast? It's not.
So it's like stop motion almost.
Yeah,
In a sense, it's kind of the same idea.
They went through like a set of motions that they wanted to do, and they go through it, and then they sped up what they recorded so it looked more animated than what it was.
Now
I'm sorry. I want to get this
No,
out.
you're
Something
good.
I
You're
always
good.
wonder about is who's going to take the time to screw with making this though. That's what always boggles my mind.
I can't remember his name, but it was a filmmaker who.
Yeah, I
did
was gonna
this.
say it could be a studio,
Yeah.
film studio. The thing is though about like, okay, so this particular video, if it's been debunked, good. Okay, I am happy every time a video gets debunked because ultimately that gives us all that does is give us a better perspective. Okay, that's fake. Now I know certain things to look for in future videos that I see. Now, but having said that, I go back to the Gimlin film of Bigfoot, where I have seen full documentaries on the History Channel 100% without a doubt proving that it's fake and 100% without a doubt proving it's real. I've seen them both.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's like even
it's up to you.
It's a friggin' house of
like,
mirrors.
It
This-
just
all of
depends
this
which
paranormal
documentary you watch and choose to believe. You know, it's like, come on, like there's got to be a way to definitively prove or disprove this stuff. I don't care. Like, will I be more excited if it's real? Of course. But
Hey, Zach.
But even if it's not real, I'm still happy that we found that out. Now we can push that out of the way. We can look at it, observe it, recognize what's fake about it, push it out of the way, and move on and use that moving forward. I mean, that's science, right? Like that's literally like, okay, we found out this result is incorrect. Let's move forward with that information and continue researching. Like that's so I'm not mad when I find out something's fake at all. Like it's fine, but I want to know, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be a way to prove this stuff, especially the videos. But yet we have documentaries saying two different documentaries of the same video, one saying it's real, one saying it's fake, and both of them proving it. Both of them video analysis in it and
proving it.
proving it. Yeah.
With some air quotes there, because obviously
big time. It's just it's very frustrating. It seems like there's so much. It seems like TV channels, studios, whatever you want to, whatever, have found out that there's more money to be made by people not knowing than knowing.
Yep.
And
There's
that's a bummer.
There's a lot of money in all this. There's a lot of money in all this paranormal stuff. So
there really is.
Only
is.
if you have books.
You know what's funny is that I think we talked about this before. And I was actually wrong, but still, like one of the top forms of podcasting is paranormal podcasts, and yet like when
there's an echo.
And yeah, there is an echo there. And Guy, I don't know if you know this or not, but like when Wayne, I know Wayne uploads to iTunes, Apple Podcasts or whatever. When you're making a podcast and you're uploading it to there, they give you a list of categories to choose from that you're in. Paranormal's not even on that list.
No, it's not.
No. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like that really surprised me.
It's
really
like
surprised me.
it's like entertainment,
Yeah, it's
psychology,
entertainment, a
science
lot
and
of
technology.
yes. A lot of the paranormal podcasts I listen to are under like the science one or the entertainment one, and it's just like why, how is there not its own category? Because there's such a huge, freaking gigantic market for it. In fairness, there's also not a section for true crime. So, and that's another gigantic.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
form of
that's weird, too.
podcasting. So that's huge.
By the way, Michelle officially has a title now. If anybody has noticed.
Oh, what's it say?
I break for Muppets.
There you go. You know, I was picking on you, but actually, I absolutely love the Muppets. I don't want to get off on that again, but I'm a Muppet.
I do
fanatic.
too.
I do.
The new one with Jason Segel was great.
I've got some Muppet. I told you I've got a couple of Muppet videos on a couple of hard drives just because they crack me up, and I like the Muppet movies and stuff, funny stuff.
Kermit the Frog.
I got a ton of stuff. So.
You know what you were talking about? How they just proved that. They proved that. The last year or so, I've been in kind of a funk and just, well, basically, I've been in a funk since like 73, but that's a different level.
That's because of the
just,
mushrooms.
Just ratchet it up. I'm of the opinion anymore that I've just kind of given up on trying to figure out what this stuff is, and all I've really got are my own experiences. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it.
It's all any of us really have, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so Zach is asking us a question before we jump back into a little more of a deep dive.
Oh wait, that's for all of us?
Yeah, he says,
Oh.
what's your favorite paranormal show channel, guys?
I thought when I just read it as what's your favorite paranormal show channel guy. So I thought it was
Nope,
just for
there's
him.
an S there,
But,
so he's asking us all. What do
all
you,
right, yeah,
what-
you guys
what's
go
yours,
first.
Burton?
Mine? All right. Okay, so I'm into all of it, right? Not just UFOs. Honestly, you said show channel. Okay. Shows, my favorite shows when it comes to the paranormal. Look, I'm kind of a sucker for Ghost Adventures. I know a lot of people have their own opinions about it. What I can tell you though about Ghost Adventures is that they're on the Travel Channel. All right. And a whole lot of comedians and just other podcasters, really, really big podcasters that I listen to on a regular basis, were also on the Travel Channel. And they at different points in time, like interacted and worked with the guys from Ghost Adventures and all that stuff. And across the board, I have never heard anyone go, the stuff that they do is fake. Like every single person that has ever had an experience with them is like, it's real. Like we all experience that together. Like it's 100% real. So could it be fake? Sure. But if it is, God damn it, they're entertaining as hell. So it's still, I'm not mad at it. That one, a newer one is Destination Fear. I highly recommend Destination Fear. It is only about 3 seasons deep, and they have captured some of the greatest paranormal evidence I've ever seen, including in some of the places that I've actually investigated myself, which makes it extra exciting for me, because that's the one thing about Ghost Adventures is that they only got their show because they made their own documentary, like privately, and then they just kind of like released it, and then they got the show based off that documentary. That original documentary is the only time to this day they've ever been to Michigan. They've never investigated anywhere in Michigan. That's my only gripe with them. Destination Fear has investigated multiple locations in Michigan as well as Illinois that I have been to. They went to the Randolph that I've been to. They've been to Eloise, which I have not been to yet, sadly, but they've been to a couple others that I've been to. And they're just very cool people. I follow each one individually on social media, and they're all just really, they seem like really cool people. That's a great show. And then I love Josh Gates's stuff. I haven't watched much of Expedition Unknown.
Destination Truth.
Destination Truth was phenomenal. Absolutely one of my favorite shows. But honestly, they also, Zach, I believe, is who asked that.
He says he's writing these down, by the way. Thanks.
Beautiful. You said shows / channels, so I assume you mean YouTube channels when you say that. In terms of the YouTube channels, I would suggest in terms of investigators, because there's a lot that I watch that are like compilation, like here are the top 10 scariest videos of the week, that kind of, like there's a few of those that I watch that are fun or whatever. But in terms of investigators, I watch his name is pronounced Yasko, but it's Jasko. And also another channel is CJ Faison, Faison. CJ Faison. Both of those are wonderful. I got into them because I was right at the beginning of the pandemic. Randonautica, they were doing the Randonautica thing. If you've ever heard of that, I got into that for a little bit, but now they kind of mostly just do like paranormal investigations. And dude, Yasko just posted his newest video. He was at, I can't remember where, but he was at some haunted house. They got doors moving, footsteps banging on the walls, stuff flying off shelves. Like it was pretty intense. Again, could all of it be fake? Totally. But god damn it, it is entertaining as hell. And if it's not fake, even if 1% of it isn't fake, they've got some great evidence. So
Diane is asking, by the way, Burton, she wants you to write their name in chat.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now. Because these are people that these are dream guests for me to get on the on the podcast, on my podcast one day. I've not reached out to them like that yet. But yeah, these are people I totally want. But here you go, right here. It'll come up under Lost in the Dark in the chat. CJ.
All right, cool. Well, while you're doing that, Guy, what do you back to Zach's question? He asks where to go right here. What's your favorite paranormal show / channel? So what do you have?
I gotta tell you, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or a buzzkill, but I don't watch paranormal stuff hardly at all. I mean,
but I mean, you do have a giant hard drive of documentaries and stuff. So
yeah, but it's 100% UFO stuff because this.
Well, what's some of your favorites though?
Well,
hey Zach, are you including UFO stuff in this, or just like paranormal ghost stuff?
Yeah, I don't.
Paranormal's everything though. Paranormal's UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, Dogman. It's all of it.
Oh my God! The thing is, I don't have a favorite show at all because I collect. I'm literally like an archivist of documentaries and video clips. That's why now and then I have them to upload. I just watch everything. I get headaches if I read. I get something called ophthalmic migraines, and my vision goes out. And I've had them for years. And I watch a lot of documentaries, but it's strictly confined pretty much to UFO stuff because of the experiences I've had. Most of the people I know who have had UFO experiences, especially if they've been in the multiple UFO experiences, they also have a lot of paranormal stuff. Most of the people I know, Ed, who passed away, who saw the same craft I did, had poltergeist activity in his house. I've never had anything like that, and I'm not at all. I'm not dissing it or anything like that. It's some of it's interesting. I shared with you guys that ghost video last week or 2 weeks ago. My buddy filmed, or the camera in his house filmed, and it was wild and very interesting. But I think my problem with television, particularly vis-a-vis relative to this ghost and paranormal stuff, is that, like David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear on television. I worked in the entertainment industry for years. I mean, not like Hollywood, but playing music. I worked behind a guy for a couple of weeks who read minds. He was a magician who did a portion of his show was a mentalist show where he would read people's minds. I could do 15 minutes on how he did it. It was all fake. TV, when I just don't find, like I said, I'm going to be highly unpopular here. I don't find that stuff really interesting nor persuasive because I know the lengths to which the industry will go to make a buck. Now,
I agree
what I might find interesting is if somebody on YouTube that seems like an ordinary person who's not making money uploads a non-monetized video, but as soon as it becomes some network thing, I really struggle. And plus, I don't have I'm just being honest. I'm real interested. I'll tell you what I do enjoy. I enjoy things having to do with psychic people who have had a psychic experience. There's some very good anecdotal evidence for that kind of thing. But there's not a particular series. The old Unsolved Mysteries series had a lot of segments on those. And I liked those because some of them were extremely inexplicable in any prosaic way, I
and
mean,
well documented.
yeah, yep, that's what I mean. Yeah, and that too. Yeah, and but as far as do I listen to paranormal podcasts? Honestly, no. I just I'm busy
Okay.
napping.
Even though you're on a bunch of them.
What's that?
Even though you're on a bunch of them.
Well, but really, you know what? This is called Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Podcast. But my little niche in this thing is the UFO thing. I don't know much about the paranormal stuff at all, and I don't think it's uninteresting at all. I think it's very interesting. But as far as TV stuff, I'm kind of,
okay.
I think you're onto something though, in the sense where you kind of alluded to that, like a lot of this stuff could be connected.
Well, it seems absolutely. Oh yeah, listen.
I think in certain cases that is very true.
Almost of the people I know who have had, and I know some pretty famous people who have been abducted over and over, and almost all of them have like poltergeist activity and crazy stuff. There's some bizarro connection. Is he all right? What's he barking? Checking on Charlie. He was making a funny noise.
Talking to the dog man.
Yeah. Or he's just fussing because mom won't put him in the chair with her. But bottom line is, no, I think it's interesting. I'm so obsessed with this UFO stuff, wanting to know what the hell happened to me. It's not that I'm self-absorbed. I mean, it was kind of semi-traumatic, and it just affected me a lot, man.
Yeah, that's not self-absorbed at all. That's like, I'm trying to figure out something crazy that I can't explain that happened to me.
Yeah,
That's
there's
not
paranormal things associated with me. Like I mentioned, I've had some weird electronic stuff, like go to the cardiologist and shut the computer off one day, and 3 days later walk in and shut off the EKG machine, and my phone acts up if I talk to a buddy of mine on the East Coast. Only him, my phone goes insane.
You've never I know you have stories of people that that had, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have stories of people that that like had found implants inside of them? I thought you did. Maybe
I don't. Well, I mean, I've got one friend. I don't want to give her name.
No.
I've got one friend who last night in a video, in like a meeting I did with a small group, was talking that she's never told me she had an implant, but she told me she had that she was abducted one time, and that's another story, but that this completely human looking guy who was standing next to a gray said, "I'm going to take this thing out of your ear." I mean, and this woman is very well known, and there was a book written about her experiences because they're so well documented. I mean, a neighbor's son. What's that?
But did you ever get checked for anything like that when you were
I don't
having
think
those weird electronic
I don't think I was
experiences?
physically abducted. I think, and this is getting really foo-foo, but I think that they can. Many people refer to them as an astral abduction. I think they can take your consciousness. That sounds. People that have not had this shit happen are going to think this guy's off with the fairies. He's into this wacky shit. Man, I'm a guy that does drywall, plumbing, and electrical. I'm not, I was so opposed to this kind of thing, but I think when I was switched off with that blue beam of light, my ex-wife said I was unresponsive. Immediately after that, all this weird stuff started happening. So something was different in my consciousness.
Well, hold on a minute. So Michelle, your favorite shows.
Yeah.
I watch pretty much everything that you do.
Okay.
So it's kind of like if Wayne says that, hey, there's a documentary that we need to watch, we're watching that documentary.
A woman's place, in other words. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I was joking.
Dude, I took a long car ride earlier today. I'm willing to take another one right now.
Oh my God.
That was a big joke.
It's not that far.
That was a big joke. Yeah, what was it? 2 days ago was National Women's whatever.
Yeah.
National Women's
Friday.
whatever.
Yes,
yeah, whatever.
I couldn't wait for it to be over so I could get a meal.
Sandwich,
No.
That's the only time that the phrase "that's what she said" really.
It's totally joking. I'm the least misogynistic guy on the planet Earth.
Well,
now I'm a scroller. So when it comes to like paranormal, when it comes to YouTube channels, I'll just flip through. If something looks of interest, I'll watch it. But I don't know. I can't remember who it was in chat. It may have been Zach. That said just hearing people's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love
There's
firsthand
podcasts.
accounts.
Yeah,
That's
I'm more
podcast.
interested, since this stuff kind of pulled us in. And by the way, yes, hello Boston Deadhead. Welcome. But before, I wasn't into any of this stuff before Michelle and I saw this thing. And honestly, for me, it is pretty much like Michelle said. I like hearing stories and people's experiences without all of the big fancy cameras and
The
productions and stuff
spooky
like
music,
that.
spooky music.
Yeah. There is I think there needs to be an element of entertainment to this, though. I mean, that's kind of why
Sure,
we
of
do
course.
what we do, and
can't be
try to make a
dry.
show out of it. But for me, honestly, paranormal wise, I want to say I like the Michigan haunting, like
Haunted Saginaw.
documentaries. Yeah, haunted
I
Saginaw
was
stuff.
literally gonna be like,
Yeah.
that's one I forgot is Steve Shippey's Haunted Saginaw stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody that was writing stuff down earlier, write that down. A lot of them
Yeah.
are free on Amazon, and he's got a YouTube channel.
Well, and I told you I watched one of his movies, and it was quite entertaining.
Yeah.
I watch them once in a blue moon. Yeah.
I want to say that on TV, I got pulled into that Skinwalker Ranch.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I thought. Well,
I
and
really
Burton,
like that
to your point, is it all fake? I mean, you know what I mean.
Well,
But
no,
I find it, like Guy says, I find it entertaining.
The Skinwalker Ranch one though, like there. No, I don't think anything they've done is like maybe this is just the way they're doing it. Maybe this is just the way they're entertaining us. But
yeah,
it is so raw science. Like there's no foo-foo in that at all. They're like, okay, there's a little foo-foo here. Let's dig up the ground and figure out what's going on.
Well, they had
Like,
that
you
one
know?
guy, Travis, somebody, I can't think of his last name. Travis
Taylor.
Travis Taylor. He's a bona fide. He's got bona fides.
Right.
He's
And
a real scientist, and he seems sincere. So
a lot of the people on that team have real bona fides, and it's owned now by this new guy. Like because that's kind of the impression I got from the show is like this billionaire bought the Skinwalker Ranch, hired this team of highly decorated scientists to come in and investigate it, and he's also like, let's do it on TV so that way everybody knows what we're finding out. Let's be transparent. It feels transparent. So yeah, that one's I believe free on Hulu if you have Hulu. Check that one.
I think that's a History Channel one, and that right
on the
there,
History Channel. Yeah,
raises some eyebrows for some
flags.
people. Yeah, and you know what?
Which is
and like Zach says right here, and Zach, that's cool. Skinwalker Ranch is just a revamped Curse of Oak Island. I can't stand it. There is no resolve or resolving to anything. Yeah,
I don't know.
I've seen it.
Okay, I have not seen Curse of Oak Island, so I don't know really what that is.
It's a treasure hunt type of.
It's the treasure hunt one. Okay,
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
the island.
Okay. So these are people searching for. Okay, fine. You could make that argument, but
Yeah.
I do kind of disagree a little bit with you, Zach. I'm sorry. Because there have been episodes where they have actually. That's what I like about Skinwalker Ranch is they actually get conclusions on certain phenomenon. Like they actually have hard data to like say this is probably what's going on here. Now, more crazy stuff continues to happen. Maybe it's just the way they edit together to keep it entertaining as a television show. It is History Channel. But they do actually, there are a few things that they have like kind of solved or at least like brought more light on. And at least like we have a direction to go in scientifically now on some of these things, as opposed to before it was just Wild West. So like that's what I like about Skinwalker Ranch is it actually feels like they're doing something. I feel like there are things and there are even if it's not 100% answer, it's at least providing a path to go down in terms of future investigations. And that's what a lot of the paranormal shows don't. I agree with him. On most paranormal shows, they don't give you anything. There's never an answer. There's never any results. But on Skinwalker Ranch, they at least collect data, and it's interesting. And it's like, oh, okay, so maybe that could be, like it gives you that much at least. I don't know.
Yeah. And to your point, again, my take on it is that it's interesting, it's entertaining. Is it 100% legit? How can we tell?
How do we know?
It seems like they're doing a trying to do a decent job. I don't know. I know there's a lot of people out there that can't stand it, and there's a lot of people that do. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, pick your poison. Where do you want to fall in on this stuff? And yeah, so I enjoy it though. I mean, I watch it when it's on. So
either way, it's fun to watch.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. There was one other one. Oh, the ranch that's right up the road from them, that Blind Frog Ranch. That's kind of an interesting one. It's a little darker. It's a little darker.
But I mean, like
on their ranch.
At the end of the day, a lot of Skinwalker Ranch's folklore is based around the Native American side of it, and I would imagine that the Native Americans had more than just that ranch. So if it's just north of it, I would imagine it'd be kind of similar.
Well, here's what I like that they discovered about Skinwalker Ranch and the whole Uinta Basin there. The reason it's a basin is because it's a damn crater.
It's a bowl.
No, it's a crater.
Well, it is a crater. Yes. But like shape wise, it's a bowl. Yeah.
Like
Because
Michigan is a basin. It's called our state is the Michigan Basin because we had 3.5 miles of ice on top of us that pushed the bedrock down into the asthenosphere underneath the crust. And now it's bouncing back very slowly, and we get these little earthquakes when the rocks decide to pop. But it's called a esostatic rebound. It's trying to equalize itself out. But it's an impact crater, and that's provable. You can see that with evidence, and that's like you were saying with the science stuff. They do a pretty decent job in trying things, and it's all interesting. But again, nobody will truly understand until they have something happen to them, right? Like Burton, you had that glass or that can of Coke at historic Fort Wayne, right?
Yeah, it was Canada Coke. Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. Guy and I and Michelle, we saw that giant floating triangle at different times, and God only knows what the hell that was. But Guy, before we start to wrap this up, I said before the break that I wanted you to tell everybody your story about this blue light. And you brought this up, and unfortunately with John being on last week, didn't have a lot of time to get into that story and things like that. So, and you've told it once before, but I want you to do it in kind of this, this, I guess, environment or on this platform.
In this context, kind of.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So what happened? What was this blue light? What was going on?
Well, I saw this huge triangle in 94. I kind of put this into
Bigfoot, Michigan Rob's here.
So, and I was very close to this huge UFO. You guys know that story. And 18 years passed, and supposedly 4 women got abducted in 94. And my thought was, hey, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or some people would say the right place, the right time, however you want to look at it. But the point is, nothing happened for 18 years, right? I was living in a house that I had as a rental on the east side of Flint that the ex-wife had driven us to bankruptcy, right? So I had to live in this rental house I'd owned for years. And we bought the house across the street too. So she had moved over there. I'm in this house. This is 2012, long after 94. One night, my job had gone away. I was waiting to get unemployment. Just basically up one night with nothing to do the next day. I was on the internet. I think I was playing Play Money Poker. I was not thinking about UFOs, right? Just to go to Poker Stars and play Money Poker and stuff. You know, I kind of like basically doing nothing at 3 a.m. at home by myself on the east side of Flint in a congested residential area, but it was 3 a.m. And I was thinking of going to bed, and I thought, what the hell? I don't have to do anything tomorrow. I'm going to get a cup of coffee and play some more poker, do whatever I was doing. So I walked out to the kitchen, and there was a coffee pot that sat on a stand, and above the stand was a window that looked over the driveway and then a vacant lot where there'd been a house that some arsonists had burned. There was some junk in that field, you know. But I'm standing there pouring a coffee, and suddenly it becomes like soft blue daylight around my house. I mean, a really bizarre color of blue. It was like as if the sun had come up and it was blue, but it had kind of a distinct stopping point. It was like a beam of blue light around my house. It was crazy. And it was on, I made a video years ago and said it was on 5 or 8. It was on, I think it was on like 10 or 15 seconds. I stood there with that coffee cup. And one thing that was odd about it was I immediately knew was something really strange. It almost seemed to have, I don't know. In my video, I said that light kind of lived in that space. It seemed to have, I mean, this is a leap, but it seemed to have like almost like a consciousness or something to me. I don't know how to phrase it. All I know, one thing, there was some junk in this vacant lot, and there was a fence. I had like a hurricane fence. It didn't make any shadows. It made no shadows. And I noticed that immediately. I was like, man, what? And it wasn't brighter in one spot and dark, like an incandescent light. Like people said, oh, maybe it was a police helicopter, which is crazy. I mean, it wasn't. And besides, they had it when the police helicopter would fly anywhere near my house, it would shake the windows when it was 4 blocks away. I mean, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was silent, you know. I mean, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I stood there with that coffee cup, and it went out. And my immediate thought was, man, did I just see that? I mean, I was just stunned. And the minute I had that thought, they switched it back on. Like, wah. And I said out loud, I said, you jokers. I ran out the front door, and that was a really horrible neighborhood at that point. There was gunfire all night long. That house sat up on a little rise, and I could see about 1.5 blocks in either direction. I mean, there was a lot of noise in that neighborhood, even at 3 o'clock in the morning. I walked out on the porch, and it was like, there was no cars. There wasn't a sound. There wasn't a cricket chirping. It was as craziest. It felt weird. It was like time had stopped or something. I don't know what. It was just strange. It was just not a sound. And I don't know why it didn't scare me. Like the UFO scared me bad. I wasn't scared at all. I just turned around and walked in the house. I was like, man, what the hell was that? You know? And in the morning, my then wife comes over to make me breakfast from the other house across the street. I tell her about it, right? And she thought it was odd, but, you know, she hadn't seen it. So about 4 nights later, it's about 11 o'clock at night, and I'm going to bed at a normal hour, right? She knocks on her, comes in the door, and she's got a bunch of VHS tapes, little Mexican lady. And she's like, the kids are watching some stuff on Netflix I don't want to watch. I'm going to watch movies on the couch, you know, with we got a VCR out there. I said, yeah, well, knock yourself out. Go ahead. I'm going to bed. So I went to bed, and she stayed out on the couch and watched movies. And in the morning, about 9 o'clock, she throws that bedroom door open. I'm like still asleep, basically. And she's like all freaked out, man. And she says, the blue light you told me about, I call it laser blue. It came on all around the house, you know. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like the light. I mean, laser blue is a good description. And I said to her, did you go outside to see where it was coming from? And she said, no, I was too scared. And I was like, why didn't you wake me up? She said, I tried to wake you up. I shook you and everything. I shook you. You couldn't wake up. You couldn't wake up. You know, she inferred that I was kind of like a dead man. And then right after that, just, man, my life changed so much. One thing is I immediately, and I didn't even tie it to this blue light. I made no connection whatsoever for 5 years. immediately after that, I was like, every other time I'd look at a clock, it was 1:11, it was 4:44, it was 3:30. I'd never heard of this. This is, because I don't watch these kind of shows. It wasn't something I knew about. I was just like, what is this about? Why am I seeing this on a clock? It was driving me batshit. I was like, what? Why am I doing this? And I did a bunch of things I never do. She was bipolar, didn't want me to leave the house. I went out and played music with a guy that she gave me a hard time about doing. I found Linda. I did a bunch of things that I never did. And after that, it's just been odd stuff. One odd thing after the neighbors here coming down saying, are we okay? Because they saw our house exploded in a ball of blue and white light. And she almost called the cops, and she called her husband who was out in the woods hunting. And they filmed stuff behind the house. I mean, I ran up. It's just been, we don't have time for this. We don't have time. It's been one bizarre kind of paranormal thing after the next. A lot of synchronicities, weird stuff with electronics, the stuff they filmed behind our house. I mean, I can even give you that video. It's real short if you want to play it. That might be interesting. I don't know. See if you can see it. I think I've got it right here.
Wait, what do you mean? Something they filmed?
Well, our neighbors, the lady that came over, and we had never met our neighbors, which sounds crazy, but they're quite private. They're both doctors. And the night she came over and rang the bell, we didn't know who the hell she was. And I was sitting right in this chair. Linda was in a chair right here. Our sliding glass door is right there. And their house sits up behind ours on like 2 acres. And they could see, they got a great picture of the back of our house. And the bell rang, and we went to the door, and it's this skinny white lady, this blonde lady going, I just want to make sure you folks are okay. I just want to make sure you're all right. And we were like, who are you? And what are you talking about?
Yeah, why do you care?
And she said, well, we live in the house up here on the hill. And she said, I was looking out my kitchen window, and she said there was a huge explosion. She said there was an explosion. I've talked to her subsequently. We got to know them. And she said that it was an enormous blue and white explosion right by our sliding glass door. She thought we have a 2-story house, and she said, I thought your house exploded. She was like going to call a fire department. She called her husband, who was out hunting in the woods, and said, should I go down there? And he said, yeah, you better check them out, So, and just all kinds of, I can't even go through it. I uploaded that video. They filmed this crap. Yeah. They got into this, and they one day, they're both doctors, they're chiropractors, and he came running over and with a thumb drive and said, have you seen all the lights behind the house? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And he said, one thing looks kind of like the Phoenix lights, and there's woods for 2 miles behind our house. It's nothing. And you can see here, if you want to play that video.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the video that guy's talking about.
I know what the hell. That's nothing behind our houses, man. Looks like the Phoenix lights. I don't know what.
Oh my God, that was.
Yeah, that was filmed behind our house, man, by them.
Hang on. No, the guy hit the nail on the head. It does look like the Phoenix lights. Like
yeah.
And then there's an orb, and I tried to use Camtasia to zoom in on this next thing. It's hard to see. There's like this little dot. I zoomed in on it, and it's
going super fast.
She moves the camera at one point. That's not it moving, I don't think. You'll see it there, and I zoom in and watch. When I zoomed in, it's just this throbbing. It's going really fast.
It is blinking,
You've got a better quality
that is
video.
not a typical airplane.
That is not an airplane.
Wait till I zoom in, man. It's just a throbbing light. They saw a bunch of this shit behind our house.
And it was like not moving before.
So can you tell us how high is this thing?
Play it from the top again.
Because the first set of lights, were they in the trees or above the trees?
They were above the trees. It looks like they're in them.
It looks like on the top there's a little cloud right there.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's above the trees. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is.
Okay.
That is such a crazy video.
I watch
for people listening to this. You got to get over to YouTube and check out this video.
You guys should post this part of this episode as just a clip, so people can just watch this clip.
I'll make a short out of this.
The funny thing is that the neighbors went through a period where they said they saw this stuff all the time behind the houses. And this is all they
at
filmed,
that.
you know.
It's going super fast.
Yeah. So, Guy, did you see this with your own eyes?
And
The strange thing is, I didn't. I mean, you know, I've been kind of like.
Oh no, this was your neighbors filming it. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
filmed it behind our house and his house, you know. But
And they said that it was they saw it moving. They saw this.
Yeah, they were freaked out, man.
Did they describe it? Because it's hard to tell from the video. Did they describe
And it
if
was, like, not
because it kind of
moving
looked like a it kind of looked like the point of a triangle with the
it
lights.
does. Yeah, it
Did
does.
they think it was a bunch of individual objects, or did they think it was one object? Did they even say anything about that?
They didn't. And we,
Okay.
you know, what's funny? They're real private. I'm surprised. I don't know. I'm surprised they even showed it to me, but they're interested in this now, and because they said they saw a bunch of crap behind our houses, you know. So, I mean, they saw a lot of it, and they said this is all they filmed, and they were like, "Have you seen all the lights behind the house?" And I'm like, "No," you know, because I'm scared to see the shit. To be honest with you, I don't want to see the shit.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I wish we could see more of the background of like that area. I know it's at night and stuff.
Yeah, it's funky. And I'm like you, it almost looks like it's in the trees. I think that's clouds. But
I can't from my vantage point, I can't tell if it's trees or not. I can't see any
it's hard.
background.
I messed with the video a little. I did zoom in on that
It's like it needs contrast or something.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Well, because of how dark it is.
Yeah.
Because when the series of the 5 lights are above the tree, it's hard to tell at first because of the contrast of the screen. It's not like 2 of them disappear. It's just their camera shifted over.
Yep, it looks to me like there's a pillar or something in the way.
Yeah.
Yep. It looks.
some
At first, I
blocking.
thought they were lighting up, but it looks like they're moving it. Well, I don't think they were really set up. I think they just caught this and grabbed the camera.
Yeah, so they moved. So for a second there, it looked like the first 2 lights to the left went out, but it was just their camera shifting over and the other 3 staying solid.
It's just strange
So
that
you're talking about like right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. It's just strange that this stuff seems to keep showing up in my life, and I'm like, why? What?
Well,
Why?
once you're tagged, isn't that what they say?
She
Like,
swears
once you see something.
She swears that when I finally got to know them, I said, I thought she meant it was like a ball behind our house, and she said, no, it was a huge explosion that was blue and white. She said, I thought your entire house exploded, and this is like 7:00 at night in summer before it's quite dark. And she said it was right up next to our sliding glass door, and I'm like, so if you're me, are you a little weirded out? Yeah. And plus, I've been 125 foot from excuse my language, a fucking enormous triangular ship.
Yep.
It didn't belong to the U.S. government. I'm sorry. I know better than that. And I'm not going to fight with people.
No, I'm not.
Argue with them.
No.
Believe what you want to believe. And I mean it sincerely. I
So-
respect your right to do so.
Ghost Dragon, if you have any video or anything else on that, please elaborate. But go on, guys. Sorry. Don't mean to interrupt.
Basically, that's it. I mean, just my ex-wife told me that I was like switched off. I don't think I was there. I was there physically, but I think that I was meddled with because my behavior changed. I immediately started seeing these numbers on clocks. I'd never even heard of this.
Right. Yeah.
I'd never even heard of this crap. I'd never heard of it. I went 5 years, and this was in 2012 that the light was around the house. 2017, I'm watching a documentary with this gal, and she talks about she's been abducted, and her first conscious abduction, she rolls over and she says that the numbers on the clock were 33333. And I went, is this something? So I started asking all the people I know who've been abducted. Every one of them says, oh yeah, the clock thing. I got a phone full of clock pictures.
Boston Deadhead asks a question.
What the fuck is that? I don't know. I don't know.
Hang on. I'm sorry, Wayne, but hang on. Look, Guy, you just said that other potential experiencers and or abductees had afterwards they had the same experience with like
they've all got it. I knew
seriously
at that point. I knew 5 or 6 people. That I felt absolutely had been abducted. Very ordinary people,
and they all had that
every
same
political
weird...
persuasion. Trump, all on the spectrum.
whatever that.
I mean, just average Joes. but their stories were so compelling. They were friends of mine at that point, and I started asking people. Brett Oldham, who's written a couple of books, who's been abducted his whole life. I said, "Hey, Brett, have you heard of this clock?" And he goes, "Oh, the clock thing. Yeah, it's a thing." I asked this lady in New Hampshire. Her and her husband saw a triangle identical to the one I saw, and they had missing time. And I said, "Have you?" This is a weird question. I was talking to her on the phone, Missy, in New Hampshire. I said, "I got a weird question." I said, "Have you ever heard of this? Do you ever see sequences of numbers on clocks?" And her and her husband were on out in the woods with a metal detector, and I was on speakerphone, and I could hear him start laughing. And she says, "Guy, I got a phone full of clock pictures." I went, "What?" I asked, oh my God, I asked 3 more people. One guy, and they all went. Here's the kicker. So I'd asked like 5 people, right? At the time, I was going to a social worker, and once every 3 months, I'd see this psychiatric nurse because they were giving me Ativan. It's a mild tranquilizer, right? And I'd go in. I told her the UFO stuff, right? This is the last person I asked. I'm talking to Lindsay one day, and I'm leaving, and I had told her the UFO stuff. She's really a sweet gal, and I think she believed me. And I was leaving, and I didn't tell her why. I said, "Hey, Missy, Lindsay, I've got a question for you." I said, "In your clinical experience, have you ever had somebody come in here and say that they saw digital repeating digits on clocks before?" And she said, "Oh yeah." She said, "Remember I told you that I had a guy?" Yeah, there you go. She says, "This is the nurse." She says, remember I shared with you that I had a guy that I worked with up north who told me he'd been abducted by aliens his whole life? That guy, he told me the same thing. He said he was obsessed with, he said he saw this on, but with him it extended to, he saw it on license plates. He had organized, but she said exactly what you're saying. She said, yeah, because when I told her my UFO story, she had shared with me that she had a client up in northern Michigan who had said he'd seen UFOs and been abducted his whole life. She didn't tell me his name or anything. She didn't violate his confidentiality. But when I asked her, she said, "Oh yeah, that guy up north that said he'd been abducted his whole life, he told me the same thing." My jaw just about hit the freaking floor, dude. I was like, "You got to be shitting me." I was like, I'm sorry. I've got too much evidence. There's something really strange going on. You can tell people they won't buy it. I wouldn't probably buy it if this had not happened to me. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Did this all have to do, like Wayne was just showing his, because I know Wayne has told me that story before. Is it always like 3:30 or 3 o'clock? Is that what we're talking about?
Some people focus on more numbers. I think
it's a triple set generally of some type of number: 111, 333, 555, something along those lines. For me, and I didn't take all the pictures of every time this happened with me, but it was always 3:33 in the morning.
Because
there's another one.
What triggers in my head, obviously for me personally, with my experiences, 3 o'clock in the morning is the devil's hour. That is the witching hour. That is, and the mythology behind that is that at 3 p.m. is supposedly when Jesus Christ was crucified. And so the devil is mocking him by doing things at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, lunar circles.
But if we can collect some more data of people with UFO experiences, abductee or not, having experiences where they're starting to notice the 3 o'clock in the morning, the 333, that kind of stuff. And like we said earlier, people have been having experiences being abducted, UFOs, all this stuff for thousands of years in human history. Who's to say that that's the Christian mythology? Like, I never believe in it anyway. I am a confirmed member of the Catholic Church, non-practicing. Don't like organized religion anymore. But who's to say that that's not where that piece of mythology comes from? Like, why couldn't it be something? Maybe people have been being abducted or having experience with extraterrestrials all this time, and it has to do with that somehow. And it has nothing to do with religion.
What I can tell you is that I never had that happen to me before, the 333 stuff. until after Michelle and I saw this thing, and I got a bunch of pictures in my phone, but I didn't take all of them because I wasn't thinking much of it at first.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing
Right?
is when do you start thinking of it?
Well,
Because I've never had an
didn't-
experience like this, and
Well,
I get 333,
here's the
1111
thing.
all the time.
It stopped me in my tracks, man, because I'd never.
Here's the thing, though.
I'd never done it.
If you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or go whatever, you woke up for some reason, the first thing you're not doing is checking what time it is. You just know it's
I don't
dark
want
and
to
you
know
got
what time it is. Yeah.
Good
I
point.
don't want to know if I have to be awake again in 20 minutes.
Right.
Like, I don't
It
wanna
just
know.
so happened that I happened to check my phone because I was thinking, man, am I waking up before my alarm, before work? I mean, I'm up at 5:30. So I'm like, man, if I'm up at 5, I'm just going to stay up,
Right.
whatever. I'm not going back to sleep. And I flip my phone over and it's 3:33. I'm like, oh, that's odd. Okay, whatever. And I go back to sleep. A few nights later, same thing happens again.
Yep.
And
Now,
it keeps
that-
happening and
that
happening
is-
and happening.
That is typically associated, like when you
Mhm.
stereotypically in the paranormal world, that's going to be associated with some sort of demonic or poltergeist haunting, not aliens. But why not? Why aren't these things? Maybe these things are connected. Maybe this goes back that far, and that's why we the Catholicism associated at least the popular culture. I don't know if Catholicism itself even actually accept this, but in popular culture we see 3 o'clock in the morning is the devil's hour. And so what if that comes from people having experiences like you all have had, and then having
it gets put in a
experiences at 3 o'clock
religious
in
it get
morning,
put
and
it,
it just
it gets put into the religious framework.
that's the only framework they have to put it in at the time.
Yeah.
That's their world.
I've got
So
a really good
that's
video.
where they
So you
put
can
it.
find it.
Yeah, for us in modern day, it's
would be different.
more mechanical and technological.
And not only that, we still have daylight savings time here in Michigan. So who knows
Yeah.
when 3 o'clock in the morning even is?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, isn't tonight spring forward?
Literally, I was gonna say we're about to lose an hour tonight,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's-
with that being said, everybody, we're gonna have to start wrapping
Actually,
this up.
11:19 right now, technically.
Yeah. So
I would
All right,
stress,
everybody.
I want to stress one thing before you cut me off, and that is just that I'd watched a lot of videos about UFOs after the 94 thing, and I'd never heard of this number thing. I thought I developed a quirk, and it would stop me in my tracks, and it was sudden,
You know what though?
and severe. And
I feel like it's a detail that a lot of like the older TV shows and documentaries kind of look. I feel like it's something that's prevalent but has been looked over, kind of ignored. Like they're not like full on Sherlock Holmes this stuff. Like they're not like going into every detail. They're taking the most interesting parts and creating a narrative. But I think a lot of people, at least that I've heard, I know for a fact a lot of people have had similar situations. So I think it's just something that like a lot of the documentaries and TV shows just haven't reported. But a lot of the experiencers have had that experience.
it's
never
very interesting.
Yeah.
And it was really, really kind of the first year. It kind of drove me nuts, and because it would like I said, it would kind of stop me in my tracks. Like I felt like I was supposed to pay attention to it. And I didn't even draw a line between it and this blue light thing. I made no connection, but now I sort of get it. But people are going to believe what they want to believe. This is way out stuff. How would anybody hear this and think it was anything real if they had not had some kind of experience? I mean, it sounds batshit crazy. Why do we see it? I don't know. What do they mean? I don't know.
Okay, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, since we have sprung forward and it is now almost, I guess, what time do we spring forward?
2
Like
a.m.
2
is when
or
it
something. So
when it flips.
yeah, so
So your 3:33 will come a little quicker.
Is it 2 or 1? I can't remember. I know it like
2.
one of them. Yeah, it just stays. It goes 2:59 to 2 a.m.
Yeah. All
I
right.
hate that
so
shit. When are we going to be done with this? We should
I
outlaw
know.
this in Michigan. Other states don't even have this.
I agree.
You should.
Garbage.
Well, we could do another time. I got a great short video about the number thing, but we can do it another time.
Yeah, we'll come back to that
Send it
because
in our Facebook
we're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. So I think I wanted to end this at 9:30 at an hour and a half, and here we
The
are.
audience can't get enough of us. They love us.
Yeah, right.
We got to give the people what they want.
Well, maybe just Burton, but
Yeah,
you know.
maybe me. They're probably like, I wish
I
that
can't
guy'd
do
go
this
to
without
bed.
you guys. I can't do this
all
without
right,
all
man.
of you.
All right, so Burton, Guy, thanks for joining us. Michelle
Peace
and I
out.
are gonna take you guys out here in a minute. All right, thanks, Burton. Thanks, Guy. All right, Michelle, we got the banner going, but if people have a story to tell, what should they do?
Email us
and
at mi.ufo.podcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. And we've got I think it was Zach Diecast Mansour who says he's got a story and he needs to email us so we can set up a day. We're going to have him come on and talk to us and talk about his story.
We've got some cool guests coming up this
yeah,
summer too.
We're not going to release anything, but
Diane,
the summer's going to be
Diane, I
amazing.
I totally agree with you. She says, can't believe more people don't watch you guys. I think that there's just so much out on YouTube.
There is.
So
there's a lot of people out there doing this stuff.
We
so.
always say give it time.
Yeah. So we're not really concerned about that, but do want to thank once again Ghost Dragon for his PayPal donation. Burton's dad for making a donation.
Thank you, Dad.
Great job. Thank you very much. And
Thank you, Diane.
Diane, she says you guys are great in her note. So thank you very much. And by the way, there is I never noticed this before, but Ghost Dragon says, love the streams, even the replays. Much love and respect to you good folks. Thank you very much, Ghost Dragon. And we appreciate you guys. And we want to thank you guys for spending a couple hours with us tonight in the shenanigans that go on here. But yeah, it was a good conversation. And Alien Abductions answers, are we any closer? Who's to say? Who knows? So, all right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Much love and respect to everybody.
Have a great night, everyone.
All right. Have a good night. We're out.